From the Las Vegas Strip studio in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's BettorCenter Live. I'm your host, Brad Stein. Welcome to another edition. You can watch us 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time daily on LouisDiamond.com. Also, check out YouTube at Louis Diamond. We have three pro handicappers here to make us some money in segment one. We'll be joined by another three in segment two. We are going to study Monday Night Football all the way to college football. Plus, later, our handicappers will give their most interesting play of the day. Let's welcome, a warm welcome to our three resident handicappers. That would be Tony G, Louis D, and Del W. Welcome, guys.
Hey, good morning,
Brad.
Hey, good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Brad.
Good morning to you. Louis, what did you learn yesterday besides that the Raiders might not be as bad as you think?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I mean, they beat Carolina. Come on, Brad. You know.
Come on, what? Tony
That's all I
loves
can
Carolina.
They beat Carolina. I think you're being sold on the Homer thing. You're a little Homer, are you? Already out of the gate. You're just dying for them Raiders to win. What?
I'm not.
But I learned a few things yesterday. I learned that Cam Newton is 1-0 against the spread. Tom Brady's 0-1 against the spread. I believe by the end of the season, you'll see Cam Newton have a better point spread record than Tom Brady. I learned that Drew Brees and the Saints are definitely a force to reckon with in the NFC. Just coming short the past couple of years, getting dogged a couple of years ago. So that New Orleans train could be a real nice train. The New Orleans overtrain could be a great train. I think the Buffalo Bills did what they kind of expected to do. And I think the Jets showed they did what they expected to do. Probably should have had some money on them Buffalo Bills yesterday. The under got me good or the over got me good on that last score, which, we got the report on the wind. The wind was there, but so was the over. So we took it on the chin there. And then I also learned that Cleveland is probably, trash, but got to be a little careful coming in this Thursday. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And Baltimore is not trash, and got to look out for them. Definitely some over material there. Missed on that one yesterday. And Jackson was surprised everybody with the win. Thought maybe the cover, but the win is Phillip Rivers really washed up. I wasn't thinking that, so I'm still not saying that yet. But that's my and the LA Chargers. If they could only get 16 points on this Cincinnati defense, they could be a strong underplay throughout the year. We'll be keeping an eye on that. I'll give you my thoughts on the NFC in a little bit.
Oh, Mr. Antonio, what did you learn yesterday from week one?
Wow. Well, the main thing I really think I learned is that these analytic guys that are in the earpiece of these head coaches must think they're playing Madden football. Last night, the Dallas Cowboys, in the fourth quarter, 4th down and 3, down a field goal, opted to go for it. Now, I know McCarthy's an analytics guy, but I tell you what, man, that's not winning football. And guess what? They lost the game. So I learned that. I learned that some of the older quarterbacks, Phillip Rivers, to me, he looks toast. He's looked toast the past couple seasons. New team.
Yes, he has.
I didn't really see anything different. He just looks kind of stale, man, like an old guy. And you wonder, Matt Ryan in Atlanta was a little disappointing. Mainly the defense. They had those questions anyway, so you learned that Atlanta's defense still was pretty shitty. At Arizona, you learned that Kyler Murray has a little game left in him. It's still kind of not pretty to watch at all times, but it proved effective yesterday for sure on the road against San Francisco. And you wonder about, I mentioned in San Francisco, you wonder Garoppolo is he more like an Alex Smith or is he more like a Tom Brady? Where does he fall in that scale? Is he a manager that had a good year last year, or is this guy really an elite quarterback that can win a Super Bowl? Vikings, that was probably my biggest disappointment as a pick yesterday. I mean, they lost. They just got trashed. Even though I lost to Panthers, that was another thing. Matt Rule with the 4th and inches call. with the game on the line and a minute left as a fullback dive? Does this bastard think he's still in college? Who the hell calls that play? Led to loss. That game basically set up the last team that had the ball was going to win. And then just a brain fart on a call. If anything, you would give it to McCaffrey, let him get stopped short, not some overweight fullback, but that's the way it goes. So I learned a lot, and hopefully I can carry that forward and start, picking more winners. So yesterday was not very.
All right, Del W., what did you learn?
Yeah, so yesterday was really exciting to get football back again. Kind of learned but a lot of things we kind of already knew about. Jimmy Garoppolo is not the elite quarterback. He's just more so, as Tony said, just kind of a game manager. He just dumps it down. Can't make the big throws. He doesn't really have weapons this year anyways at wide receiver, so we kind of already knew that. The only game that was allowed to have fans yesterday was the Jacksonville game, and they were able to upset the Colts. So I guess that plays a little bit of a factor. We kind of, I guess, knew that Phillip Rivers was probably the problem in the Chargers since he lost to the Jaguars. Mitch Trubisky was throwing dimes. I love seeing Cam Newton there in that Patriots uniform. Overall, it was a really good day. Our favorite play yesterday, Cardinals won outright versus the 49ers. So I'm just excited to have football back. Hopefully we have more of these games. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go to game number 1, Monday Night Football. The Steelers -6 at the New York Football Giants. Over-under came in at 45. Tony G, start us off with game number 1.
Okay, Big Ben back in the lineup. This is one where I'm wondering if my leaning on tradition is going to cost me here, because Pittsburgh as a favorite is no better. How many times has Pittsburgh won but not covered a spread? It seems like that's what they do. Against my gut, everything's telling me that the Giants are a terrible team. But right here, I'm going to take the Giants tonight, probably based on just the fact that it doesn't make any sense to me. And that's the kind of weekend I have where now I'm taking the team I don't think is going to win. So give me the Giants tonight.
Louis Diamond, what do you have?
Well, I'm definitely going to be teasing on Pittsburgh here tonight. As far as Pittsburgh, road favorite, 4-9-1 their last 14 games. Tony, 2-5-1 their last 8 as a road favorite. 4-9-1 as a favorite overall. So you're right, not a good spot for Pittsburgh in the favorite position. But I'm leaning on Pittsburgh here for a couple of reasons. I believe the Giants are cellar dwellers, and that will probably show here tonight. Too many mistakes at quarterback, too many turnovers last season. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. I don't think that's going to stop here tonight. I think Pittsburgh's defense will actually give the Giants a little bit of a fit. So, and I think Ben Roethlisberger coming back and talking about how jittery he is going into the game, that kind of gets me excited that Ben's focused. Games used to be, a dime a dozen for him. Now he's taking, he can't take these games for granted. He's got an inferior opponent tonight. His first game back, if he's got anything, and I'm not a Roethlisberger fan, but I will be tonight. I think he is as far as personally speaking. So I hate to bet on guys that I don't have a personal opinion. I have a personal opinion against. But anyways, I think he's focused tonight. So I actually think the Steelers are probably going to do a good job with the Giants tonight and crush them. But I'm not betting on the crushing. I'm going to still take the teaser, open them up with the teaser, and I'll give you some more a little bit later.
Thank you, Louis D. Dell.
Yep. All right. So I really like this game today. Probably going to be one of my favorite plays. For the Giants and the Steelers, I like this game going under. So Giants, they don't really have a passing game. Probably their best receiver, Tate, is questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. Other than that, all they really got is Ingram. This is going to be a run-dominant game. They're just going to give the ball to their best player, Barkley, and hope that he breaks one or two. But So it's going to be a run-heavy game. Steelers' defense is amazing. They carried them last season while they went through their quarterback troubles with Rudolph getting hit with the helmet. But they do got Big Ben back, but they have a really good defense. I see this as a run-heavy game. I really like this under. It opened up at 57, I believe. I saw it at 55 today with more bets coming in on the over. I love this under. Giants Steelers under for me today.
Thanks, Del, but don't go anywhere because game number 2, the second part of Monday Night Football, the Titans -3 at the Broncos came in at 41 over under. Who do you like? What do you like? Go ahead, Del.
All right. So for this game, Broncos versus Titans, right? So I did love the Broncos, but they just had two major key injuries. They had Von Miller, obviously their best defensive player, get hurt. Hopefully not out for the season. Hopefully he can make a return. Their best receiver is hurt as well day to day. I'm probably not going to be playing today. Most likely he's not. They said it's a really long shot that he even gets into today. That line, of course, is going to move in favor of the Titans -3, the over-under at 41. I don't really like the side. I like the Broncos. I think that they could still pick up this W, as long shot as that is with their best defensive player and their best wide receiver going to be out this game. I don't like it enough to bet. I'm going to be staying away because I do like the Broncos, but it's hard to bet them with missing such key players like that. So I'm going to be staying away from this game.
Oh, Louie, any diamonds for game number 2?
Well, I totally agree with Dell. This is going to be a tough spot for Denver, missing Von Miller and Sutton at receiver. So they're missing their top offensive receiver. They're missing not only just their top defensive player, but one of the league's top defensive players. And that is really going to hamper them. They win 16-0 last year because they shut Henry down. I don't see it happening tonight. I think Tennessee, once again, it's tough. You got 2 home underdogs on Monday Night Football. That dog on national TV usually shines bright, but I think tonight's going to be a night that the dogs just don't have it. So I'm going to definitely lean on the Titans here tonight and probably on some under.
And Mr. Tony, what do you have for us?
Yeah, this is going to be my best play tonight of the 2 games for sure. I'm going to back Tennessee here. I think Dell definitely mentioned Von Miller not being there. When I look at Denver, I look at a team that relies on its defense. When you're missing your best defensive player, that definitely is going to cause some issues, run heavy. So I think it's going to aid Tennessee for sure. And I did also note that Tennessee's maybe bolstered their pass rush a little bit. That was kind of something that was holding them back a little bit. So you got a run-heavy team against a questionable offensive team. We'll see how this plays.
That brings us to our most interesting play of the day. Tony, we'll just stay right with you.
Okay, most interesting play of the day. I'm going to go into Major League Baseball, and I'm going to back San Diego as they are playing the Dodgers tonight. I'm just noting that the Dodgers, when Kershaw's on the mound, this guy's normally 250, -300. Tonight he's only like -130. Padres are scorching hot. I think like one of those cases where the book is telling you where to go. I think my most interesting play will be on San Diego as they host the Dodgers.
All right, Mr. Louis Bag of Diamonds, most interesting play of the day is who?
Well, I feel that vibe that Tony feels on that game, and people would think that Kershaw is usually a dead under, but not with the Padres. And and the Padres have been a team that's faced them enough and hit them enough. So I like the over in this matchup here tonight, over 8 with the Dodgers and the Padres. That'll be my most interesting play here today.
Del Warfield.
All right. So for my most interesting play today, my favorite play is going to be the one that we already talked about in the NFL. I love this Giants versus Steelers game going under. I just see it as a run game, low-scoring game. I don't think that the Giants are going to be able to put up more than 14 points. I don't see the Steelers being able to put up 30 plus. So I love this game going under. Definitely going to be my favorite play today. Giants Steelers under 45.
Thanks, boys. Tony, Louie, and Del W. Coming up next, Tony Cusimano, the man in the street, is somewhere in Tennessee. What is he doing? And where exactly is he? We'll find out next. You're listening to BettorCenter Live. Brad Stein here live from Las Vegas. Join us daily for BettorCenter Live with our professional handicappers, where you get sports information you can bet on. Stop gambling, start winning. BettorCenter Live. Welcome back to BettorCenter Live. I'm Brad. You can watch us on LouisDiamond.com. Also, check out YouTube at Louis Diamond. We are waiting for the man on the street, Tony Cusimano, somewhere in Tennessee. Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, Mr. Bradley, and I'll tell you something. I am at the home of the Tennessee Titans, Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee. So everyone knows, our secretary got my flight arrangements mixed up. I should be in the Mile High City tonight, Tennessee at Denver. We're going to cover that now. But I am at the home of the Tennessee Titans, which, yes, tonight they do face a big road game and a conference game. It probably is going to come into play into late December here, where they seed here in the conference playoff picture. But I will say one thing with the crew. We'll agree to disagree here. Let's go over this game a little bit here now. We've got Tennessee -3 on the road at Denver, the Mile High City. I think that thin air may get to them. They did have a 16-0 shutout loss last year. You also have to take into the picture Von Miller is out, true. Mr. Sutton is out. Drew Lock's top weapon. But why hasn't the line gone from 3 to 4? If these guys are so key and so integral, why hasn't the line gone to +3.5 or +4? Why? Because the Denver Broncos are probably going to win this game outright, and it's all because of the young man on the offensive side of the ball by the name of Drew Lock, who led this team to a 4-1 record. That's right, 4-1 record in the last 5 weeks of last year, and he's going to carry that momentum coming into this season, 2020. So that's what we have. We've got, and also the offensive line has gotten that much better. So offensive line that much better in Denver. The defense is still going to be strong without Von Miller. Sure, there's a little bit of a hole there, but they've got replacements that are going to, fill that gap. And remember, Tennessee is on the road. And if I could just say one thing, there's 3 greatest days in a coach's life, or in baseball, a manager's life. There's the 3 greatest days. Number 1 is the coach gets married. God bless him. He meets a beautiful girl. And, they go on to live happily ever after. His happiest second day of his life is his birth of his child. The birth of his child. Beautiful boy, beautiful girl. The third happiest day of a coach's life is a road victory. And let me tell you something, folks. The Tennessee Titans are not picking up a win on the road tonight. It's very tough to win at Mile High Stadium in the friendly confines of the Mile High City. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos +3 tonight and the under, because without Mr. Drew Lock having his number 1 weapon to throw to, you're going to see that ground game heavy ground game from Denver. And I'll tell you what else, everyone at BettorCenter, I'm going to give you the triple play tonight. For all you parlay players, we're going to go Denver Broncos +3, under 41, and take the Denver Nuggets tonight +7. The Denver triple play, everybody. And with that triple play, I'm going to throw it back to you from Nissan Stadium here in Nashville, Tennessee. Brad, take it away and take the triple play from Tony C., your man on the street.
Thank you, Tony C., for the triple play. Welcome back to BettorCenter Live on LouisDiamond.com. Also, YouTube at Louis Diamond. We're going to welcome our next 3 handicappers. Well, Louis Diamond's back, but we have 2 new ones, Ross Benjamin and Chip Chirimbus. Guys, welcome to the show.
Morning, guys. Looks like we got Dell, not Ross.
All right. I guess
how you
we're
doing,
down
Chip?
to Chip.
Well, they had a nice, shall we say, bailout winner last night with Dallas, and that helped for sure.
All right, Chip, let's start with you. Let's go to game number 1, Monday Night Football. We have the Steelers -6 at the New York Football Giants. Over-under came in at 45. What are your thoughts for game number 1 of Monday Night Football?
Well, Ben Roethlisberger comes back after a 12-month hiatus. He was hurt, of course. And the Giants win 4 out of 16 games last year with Daniel Jones making it into Davy Jones's locker the way they played last year. But this line went from 3.5 to 6. I see 5.5 and 6 out there right now. The Giants are 4-16-1 in their last 21 home games. How about that? But Pittsburgh is 1-10 in their last. And 1-10 in their last 11 road games. I'm going to take the Giants here. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually won the game. Barkley, the new coach, new attitude. Didn't help the Jets much yesterday, but I think the Giants are the side tonight.
Thanks, Chip. Ross, welcome to the show. There you are. What are your thoughts for game number 1?
Yeah, I agree with my partner there. You're looking at the obvious would say Pittsburgh, right? I mean, they're unequivocally the better team on paper, but we're not picking who's going to have the better record at the end of the year. We're picking who's going to cover this game. Something's got to give, Brad. I mean, you got a Giants team that's gone 0-6 straight up in ATS in their last 6 as a home dog, and 1-10 straight up in ATS in their last 11 as a home dog. Well, why do you like them, Ross? Well, Pittsburgh isn't any better on the road as a road favorite. And Louis brought that up earlier. 1-6-1 against the spread in their last since 2018, actually, as a road favorite. So one of these teams is going to have to break that trend. And also, I look back, you think of Pittsburgh as all the success they've had with Mike Tomlin, yet they're just 5-11-1 straight up in their last 17 season openers. So they don't have a history of starting fast. Very small lean here for me on the New York Giants plus the points over Pittsburgh.
Nice jersey, Ross, by the way. Louis D., anything new to add or subtract?
Well, the fact that everybody else is kind of leaning on them Giants, I guess it's supposed to worry me a little bit, but I'm still riding the Pittsburgh. I like to get in the head of players and get into the head of the locker room and try to feel their vibe. Most of us have we're athletes, and we're frustrated athletes that never made it, but we know what that locker room feels like, and we know the mental attitude that it takes to do these things. So I think this is a mental play with Ben Roethlisberger. I don't think you can get a trend or a stat that's going to take me off of that. I believe he has a big game today.
Oh, Chipster, before we get to game number 2, what did you learn from week number 1 in the National Football League yesterday, Sunday, and Thursday night?
Don't bet on a team you can play for. The Jets stink. That's all I can tell you. I was very happy. I was very happy with the Washington the Washington Swampers. I'm going to call them the Swampers. Yeah, well, no, they're the Swampers. We're still looking to clean that up. I was so disappointed in myself that I didn't have the nerve to take Jacksonville. Russ and I had discussed this earlier, and we just eliminated that game. And, of course, ended up being one of the better plays of the day. I did use Washington. That was a pretty good winner for me, but I did have the Jets on top. And I'm not even a fan. I call them the green slime, that team. And I don't believe I used them on top. And I was very surprised to see what happened with the Niners. And I'm beginning to think that Garoppolo is going to be Carapolo, and he's just not going to be the player that we anticipated he would be.
You might be right about the Garoppolo. Ross B., what do you have to add? What did you learn from week 1? I know you're all excited with your Buffalo Bills jersey. Beat the green slime. But are you going to beat, like, real slime out there?
Yeah, well, let's try. I mean, anyway, going back to Chip's point, I did have Jacksonville as my free pick yesterday on the show on Friday, +8 underdog. They win outright 27-20, and then Washington. Again, I brought up something to keep in your mind going forward for the viewers. Again, division home dogs in week 1. There was 2 of them yesterday, Washington and Jacksonville. Not only did they both cover, they both won outright. So that makes them 18-5 against the spread since 2010. Not only that, they've won 15 of those 23 games outright. So keep that in mind going forward. What I learned that Seattle still can't stop the pass, and that's concerning to me. But they continue to outscore teams as long as Russell Wilson plays at that kind of level he did yesterday, where he was just on fire. 30 out of 34 passing. They gave up 450 yards passing. Last year they had a great year again, but they gave up a lot of yards passing. No more Legion of Boom, so keep an eye on that going forward when they play a good defensive team where they're not going to be able to outscore the opponent. They might be a nice fade to play against as a favorite, or even like next week, I'm going to have to take a real hard look at that total, which is 44 against New England with their pass defense, even though it looks like New England's going to run a very conservative offense.
Ross, we're going to stay with you. Game number 2, Titans opened up at -3 at the Denver Broncos, over under 41. You like anything in this game?
This is a tough one, Brad. These teams met in Denver last year, and Denver beat them 16-0 and held them to 204 yards and shut down their ground attack completely. If I'm not mistaken, that was before Tannehill took over as quarterback. The line move is not so much because of the money, but because of the key injuries with Cortland Sutton and Von Miller. So a real tough call. I mean, if you put the proverbial gun to my head right at this particular moment, I would take the home dog.
Chipster, what do you got?
Well, I agree with Ross here. I'm going to have to be on this Denver side. They added some spectacular offensive firepower in the offseason. Melvin Gordon is now key running back for them, and the kid they drafted out of Alabama, Drury, he was just one of the top receivers in the nation. Yeah, and they drafted the other kid, the explosive guy from Penn State. I mean, so the loss of Sutton, I don't know if it's really going to be there, other than the fact that these guys are rookies, and who knows what they're going to do in the first time out. Denver held Derrick Henry to 28 yards on 15 carries in that 16-0 win that you mentioned, Ross. Early in the season last year, I can see Denver doing it again. Von Miller is certainly a major loss for a team that was, on the brink, middling as it was. So hopefully Elway's putting together an offense together with them. He's got a running back now and 2 explosive receivers and a quarterback in Drew Lock, I believe he is. And he can get the ball into the hands of his receivers. 4-1 in his last 5 starts as a rookie last year. We'll see if he improves as much as I expect Daniel Jones to improve with the Giants.
Lou Diamond, what do you have for us here in round 2?
Well, listen, round 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you a quick little, what did I learn from the NFC from the NFC yesterday. Washington may not be the pushover that I thought they were, but Philadelphia looks to be the pushover that we thought they were. Dallas, boy, that got shoved right in my face yesterday with Dallas being the little media darlings. They got screwed by the refs big time yesterday. Now, I don't know if that's leading up to something else down the road, but Dallas should have, that PI. I don't see how that plays. That's a penalty in today's world, but, everybody wants to have their safe zones. So in the NFC North, Chicago, hell of a comeback. I got to give them credit for that. Still don't have faith in Chicago. Don't have faith in Detroit. Have a lot more faith in Green Bay after yesterday, but certainly Minnesota's struggling. They're going to struggle this year. I think Green Bay just might have it given to them. And then in the South, New Orleans is just going to be unstoppable, I think. I don't see any of those teams competing with New Orleans, so that's going to be a cakewalk over there. And then over in the West, as I gave you yesterday, Arizona on the money line. Gave it to you guys. Hope you took advantage of it. Arizona is the train that you want to ride. Now, listen, Murray didn't look as spectacular as I was hoping he looked, but he made it happen, and he's still a pretty damn – he's an awesome little athlete, and I expect big things from this season. Rams maybe looked a little better than I expected. San Fran, I think you're going to see a little bit of a downfall here this year. Too much pressure on them. So that's kind of what I learned from the NFC yesterday.
All right, well, thank you, Louis D. That brings us to game number 3, Thursday Night Football. The Bengals at the Browns, -8. 46 over under. Let's start with Chip. Any thoughts on this game?
You can go right past me. Give me an intentional walk here because I don't even look at next week's stuff until today is over. And you just told me who they're playing, and I didn't even know that game was a matchup on Thursday. How's that for you? I take it a day at a time, my friend, and I'll look at this stuff this afternoon or tonight after the smoke clears from tonight's games. I don't want to too much information yesterday is still fresh here. Let it settle for a day, and then I'll come and look at the numbers tomorrow.
That was perfect for me. That is why I went to you first, because I wanted to lead off with a walk. I knew exactly what you were going to say before you were going to say it. I did. Ross, well, I know you have a little bit something, but kind of Chip-like.
Yeah, you know what they say about leadoff walks, Brad? I think 70% of the time the runner scores, so you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Anyway, way too early for me to make a call on this game. Cincinnati misses a 31-yard field goal with about 3 seconds to go yesterday, which would have tied the game against the LA Chargers, who, by the way, with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, and that Chargers defense is pretty darn good. I'd be looking at playing the under with them any chance you get this year, especially if you get a total of 44 or more. And again, not bad performance by Joe Burrow as a rookie yesterday. Had the one ill-advised interception where he tried to shovel it ahead and make a play that wasn't there. And then he ran that ball in from 31 yards, showed a lot of poise yesterday, I thought. I still think he's going to struggle at times this year, but he's certainly, I think, going to be a bona fide NFL quarterback. Having said that, I also, just a prediction, again, I said this back in June. I said this on one of our early shows, and I'll say it again, Louis Bag of Diamonds. Just keep it in mind. I'm going out on a limb here. I picked the Chicago Bears to win the division in the NFC North, and I'm going to stick with that prediction.
Louis Bagadi, I know this is not early for you because this is your love, your second love, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, your Super Bowl favorites. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Take us away.
Burrow got screwed by A.J. Green yesterday is really what happened. His receiver dogged him with the pass interference, and it was a legitimate pass interference. That was. And cost him the touchdown, cost him the opportunity for his first win. So I think you're going to see Burrows looking elsewhere when we'll see what happens there. But Cleveland, when a team looks like dog shit like they did yesterday, and now they're coming home on a big televised game, they're supposed to be the bet. So you're supposed to be betting Cleveland here. But once again, how do you put your money on this team right now that apparently can't put much of anything together? So I believe the points are too many, and I think you need to get them early, which is why I wanted to talk about this one today. The Bengals, 33. I know Bengals are a new team, and I know we're not supposed to be riding on the trends, but you still got to look at them. You still got to see what's going on. So 8-3 as a road underdog, 7-3-1 in week 2, 33-16 their last 51 in September, but they are 3-10, 3-7 their last 10 overall. And Cleveland, they Thursday night games, they do well, 7-2 against the spread. So that worries me, but against their divisional opponents, 9-19-1, and that showed last week. So I still got to believe that the Bengals are still to play. 9 out of the last 11 have gone the Bengals' way, but that trend was good for them, good for the Browns versus the Ravens, so that didn't work too well. But I'm riding Joe Burrow's train. Come on, guys. Get on the train with me.
All right. Let's get on the train. Let's get on the most interesting play of the day train, starting with Chip Chirimbus.
Yes, sir, Brad. I'm going to go back to the same scenario I posted last week when I said we had a visiting team favored against the best team in the American League. We have Minnesota Twins, who are favored at Chicago, at the White Sox, who have the best record in the American League. And here's the scenario once again. Like last week, I pointed out that a 1-in-5 starter for Cincinnati was favored at St. Louis with Wainwright going, and this is more of the same. You have Berrios going for Minnesota, and one of the top starters for the White Sox, who've had great hitting, great balance in the lineup, and their pitching has really come into play. But I think them as an underdog here is another one to come get me, and I'm going to take Minnesota. I think it's a really interesting line that they come up favored in this game. The game may be a pick 'em, close to a pick 'em, but not $1.30 like I'm looking at. I'll take Minnesota Twins.
All right, Ross.
Hey, before I get to the free pick, be sure to go to my website, folks. It's rbwins.com. My NFL picks in the month of September since 2013 are 99-51, and that's documented by the good folks over at sportscapping.com. If you want to check the legitimacy of that record, feel free to do so. I would invite you to. Anyway, get to the free pick. And again, folks, free pick being the key phrase here. We've done okay with these free picks. I think 5-3 with the last 8. But you know what? I can't buy a loaf of bread with a free pick. I can buy a loaf of bread with the pay selections that I give you. So keep that in mind. Minnesota at the Chicago White Sox. Same game Chip took a look at. I'm going to look at the total in this game. Chicago White Sox, by the way, Chip, they're not nowhere near as good at home as they are on the road. So there's a good stat for you in your way. Jose Berrios, 4 starts on the road this year, guys, a 6.75 ERA, very good at home, but not so good on the road. The Minnesota bullpen, very good at home, not so good on the road. The Chicago bullpen, very good on the road, not so good at home. You following a pattern here, guys? And then Minnesota, their last 7 games, 6.1 runs scored per game and 19 home runs. The Chicago White Sox, the last 7 games, 9 runs per game. And this is a White Sox team that's cracked 78 home runs in 43 games this year. And Dylan Cease, he's pitched well at home, but here's the problem. 2 career starts against Minnesota, basically the same lineup he's going to see tonight. And both of those starts were at home. And in those 2 starts, he allowed 13 earned runs and 7 innings pitched. I'm going over the total here, guys. Minnesota Twins, Chicago White Sox, over the total of 9.
Ross, Brad, I'd like to add one more thing. Oh, can I add one more thing, Brad, about this? Okay,
of course.
Berrios is a 12, I beg your pardon, guys, a 12-2 lifetime against the White Sox with an ERA under 3. So I had neglected to mention that. And thank you for not putting it in, Ross, because you got everything else covered. But I got the Twins.
Yeah, well, and to counterpoint that, his last 3 against the White Sox, his ERA is over 5. So a lot of that is in the rearview mirror. But anyway, look, I hope you win, buddy. I'm all for the logic used.
All right, Ross, how can we get in touch with you?
RossBenjaminSports.com, RBWins.com, whatever URL you want to use, it'll take you to the identical landing page. I'll have 2 NFL picks up for sale tonight, like I alluded to before, Brad. 99-51 in the month of September since 2013 in the NFL, despite having a losing day yesterday. So, again, if you know anything about me, I'm resilient after a losing day. So jump aboard, folks. RBWins.com. I also have very affordable priced subscription plans in the 1 week and 30-day plans. If you're not making a profit at the end of those plans, I will extend your package until you do. So that's RBWins.com, Brad. It's where you pay a little to win a lot.
And that brings us to Louis Diamond. Your most interesting play of the day is?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open you up and give you the gift that keeps on giving here today. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to give you a teaser that's going to run all the way through till next week. And we're going to open the teaser up with the Pittsburgh Steelers at a pick'em, a 6-point teaser. Then you're going to go take the Cincinnati Bengals plus the 12. And then you're going to roll it into Sunday to the team that I'm going to key their teasers. But let's start with Pittsburgh tonight. We'll pull it into the Bengals on Thursday night, followed by Arizona. 3-team teaser. It's a winner, guys. The gift that keeps giving this week.
All right, guys. Chip Chirimbus, Ross Benjamin, Louis Diamond, thank you. We'll see you next time on BettorCenter Live for more up-to-date information and picks. Thank you to all the handicappers in segment 1. Also, Tony G and Del W. Special thanks to Eugene, our producer and director. If you don't play, you won't win. That's BettorCenter Live on LouisDiamond.com. Also, YouTube at Louis Diamond. I'm Brad. Have a wonderful day.